Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
We're going to be having a look at our Soviet sniper teams. We only have 2 at the moment. We might get a couple more as time goes on because we do find them to be very useful.
Yep.
We do use snipers quite a lot. They're brilliant at taking out enemy officers and then enemy support weapons. That's what they're best at doing, really. You take out the enemy officer, not only do you put a pin on them, you also remove their +1, which is
Although
awesome.
we did have one instance where it was sniping and we had 3 more units left, but our both infantry squads were hiding and it was sniper versus sniper. And I won in the end.
Yeah. So we have these snipers I generally get are veteran, which will put you about 65 points, so they are quite expensive. However...
Actually worth it.
Yeah, worth it.
Worth it.
So I would say that it's worth spending the points because it gives you that ability to take down an enemy's morale really quickly. So it is quite useful for that. Also, they have a longer range than sort of your short-range troops. You've got troops with a lot of SMGs and stuff. You can only actually reach them with rifles if you're an infantry team or light machine gun, and that would mean you're going to be wasting your firepower on basically 2 guys in a bush when you could be taking on something more powerful and technically more dangerous. So they can become a bullet magnet, but they can be overlooked and ignored. So it really depends how you play as to how dangerous snipers can be.
I prefer to be ignored because then when they're not paying attention to it, they get out of cover while they're fighting a unit because they pick them off.
Yeah. A good thing about snipers as well is they ignore cover. So they automatically hit on the 3, which is brilliant. So you can have a guy hiding just around the corner of a building, his head's just poking out, and you've got a bush and a tree in the way and an armoured car, and you can still take a shot on the 3, which is quite useful, especially if you've got the enemy officer within range. That's always very handy.
Well, yeah, we tend to do that all the time.
Yeah, it always ends up that way. Oh, but perhaps we just notice it more when it happens.
No,
okay. Yeah, so you don't get a hit modifier for firing it, which is very useful. And yeah, that's really all I've got to say on that. Tactically, we use them. I use them personally as support to my infantry. I generally find a place with a bit of ground that needs covering, and I put it on the flanks of an infantry section, an infantry section and squad, and use it just to cover that ground from enemy flanking. Unfortunately, sometimes the people I'm playing against use armoured cars and tanks, which means your sniper's pretty much useless, but it's still handy having it. Tactically, what would you say?
I just concentrate my sniper on one unit, and after I picked off the general support and the some rifles and that, I'll leave that unit and then get slaughtered by my normal infantry, and then I concentrate on another unit and another unit. And after there's just tanks left, it's pretty screwed.
Yeah. So you use them to degrade the enemy unit.
Yes, and then they get finished off by the main force.
Yeah. Good tactic.
Which is why you're better having more than one sniper.
Yeah.
But I can't really afford more than one sniper.
It depends what you get. What else you're getting. You always buy a lot of tanks, so.
Tanks and infantry, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I haven't got anything else to say. You haven't got a question, have you?
That was my question, and that was my tactic.
Historically, some of the Russian snipers were some of the best snipers in the world.
There's a film about one.
Sevastopol. Yeah. So Russian film. Sevastopol. There was a woman, a female sniper, got 309 kills, I believe. She was so successful at killing people that Stalin ordered her removed from the army because it was getting embarrassing, because she might get killed. And she was a hero. People had pictures of her on the mantelpiece and little brooches with her face on and stuff and little badges. And it was getting
for murdering 309 people.
Yeah, and it was getting quite upsetting because what if she got killed? Because that would be
then everybody's morale would go down.
Yeah, so he took her out of the front line and sent her to the United States to do a tour. And she rather famously stood in front of a load of Americans.
And told them to stop being cowards.
Yeah, and said, I've killed 309 Nazis or whatever, while you people have been sat here doing nothing. And I think that helps the morale along a bit for the Americans, you know. Oh,
That makes them embarrassed.
yeah, well, here's a woman stood in front of us who've killed more Germans than any of us have done, and combined, yeah. So that's it. Well, there were a few Americans who volunteered to fight for us, pilots and stuff. Not many, and most of them were expats anyway. So, but you know, the Americans were not really wanting to get involved in the war at that point, which made sense to them.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the end of the video. Over to my trusty sidekick.
Sorry. I was trying to hold my cough.
You're a very strange person.
So if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of snipers and whose tactic you think is better, mine or Imperator's.
Yeah, so the degrading tactic of my trusty sidekick, or the cover fire that I use them for.
That's it from me.
And everything from him. Good day.
Can't wait for the comments.